Free agency in the NBA has just begun, and there's so much crazy moves that has happened. And so I know I'm not really a sports related channel and stuff like that, but when stuff comes out like this, I just gotta talk about it, man. I mostly keep all of my sports stuff and everything on my TikTok. If you actually want to go follow that, will be link in the description and stuff. So definitely go follow that. But man, oh man, have we gone on to a pretty nice heater now. Not all the moves have been made. There's still a lot of top remaining free agents, like for example, Klay Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, like those guys, right? Like they're still available, but mostly like the big name pieces are kind of gone, if you know what I'm saying, like Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook's on the move, which I do want to talk about. But man, it's been a pretty exciting. Like it started off a little slow. I'm not gonna lie. Once 4 p.m. yesterday hit, it did start off kind of slow, but it started picking up a little bit. And let's talk about a few moves. So number one, I want to talk about is Isaiah Hornstein to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, if you guys don't know, the Oklahoma City Thunder are my favorite basketball team. They've been my favorite team since I was like maybe 10, 11, 12 years old. And seeing us finally get a 7-footer with a high motor that could get boards, play defense, I basically could said, I mean, he could do it basically everything a center needs to do. It's beautiful. Sam Presti, you're an absolute mastermind. Not only that, we re-signed Isaiah Joe and also Aaron Wiggins on pretty team-friendly deals too. I mean, Sam Presti is a freaking mastermind, man. Like, this team is going to be so good this coming year. We literally just got exactly, like, our weakness last year was, again, size, getting boards. Sometimes the hustle wasn't there. But now we got Alex Caruso, one of the best lockdown defenders, lockdown guards in the league. And now we get Isaiah Hornstein, a big man that could really, really do it all. You get what I'm saying? So it's looking really nice. I know we kind of paid Isaiah Hardenstein a little bit more, but that's what we got to do to take him away. That's exactly what I wanted the Thunder to do. I wanted the Thunder to overpay for Isaiah Hardenstein because we need size. We need something like that. So I'm really glad the Thunder did that, man. I really am. Freaking thank goodness, because it was going to be a rough one. If we didn't get Isaiah Hardenstein or any big man at all, it's going to be a rough NBA season, but I'm glad that he's on our squad, man. He's an absolute insane basketball player, man. Like, go watch like Isaiah Hardenstein highlights, and I'm glad that guy's on our team, man. He's really good. Next move I want to talk about is Paul George signing a 4-year deal to the freaking Philadelphia 76ers. This just seems like a very mid-signing to me. Like, this was kind of obvious. I knew before even like free agency began that he was going to be a 76er. He wasn't going to go to no Warriors or anything like that. I knew, like, I even said on Twitter, like, yeah, this guy's going to be a 76er, and it happened. I don't think that, as I said, this team is going to be where it needs to be. You still have the Boston Celtics in that conference. You still have a lot of good teams in that conference. But I do think it's a pretty nice move, man. I feel like the only thing that's going to be stopping this team is maybe a little bit of chemistry, when the season starts, and also injuries, man. Paul George always seems to be injured. Joel Embiid especially always seems to be injured. So it's literally just those two, man. Like, injuries is probably going to stop this squad, but I don't know. The squad in Philadelphia is looking pretty nice, man. I'm not going to lie with you. Paul George, Joel Embiid, freaking Kelly Oubre re-signed, Tyrese Maxey, That squad's looking pretty nice, man. I don't think it's going to be the one that takes it over the hump, but, I feel like it's going to be all right. Next thing we want to talk about is Chris Paul going to the Spurs for $1 million, or like not $1 million, freaking $11 million. I think that is a pretty good move, man, for the Spurs. Like, the only, if Chris Paul does like this, the 2019 Oklahoma City Thunder stunt where he took that team to the playoffs, if he does it here again, that's just going to be insane, right? Like, I don't want that to happen, because the Spurs are in the Western Conference. But man, Chris Paul to Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama is going to play with the real point guard, the point god, as they say. So it's going to be crazy to see what they do over there in San Antonio. I'm definitely going to be interested, man. I know Chris Paul's stint with the Warriors wasn't really that good, and coming from what was it, like the Phoenix Suns, right? Well, he was the Suns, and then he got traded to the Wizards, and then he got traded to Golden State, right? Or was something like that, right? It was like from the Suns to the Wizards, then to the Warriors. So it's good to see Chris Paul finally, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna finally shine in the role, because Chris Paul, in my opinion, is meant to be like a starting guard. He's not meant to come off the bench. Same thing as Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's not meant to come off the bench, even though he sacrifices and does, which, that's why he's my favorite player. But like, Russell Westbrook needs the ball in his hands. The same thing as Chris Paul. He needs the ball in his hands, and I feel like Chris Paul is gonna be. It's like, bro, that pick, Wemby and CP3 pick and roll is gonna be absolutely disgusting. Like, imagine prime Chris Paul and prime Wemby. That would be a scary deal. I'm not gonna lie with you, man. Freaking that would be scary. But I really do like the move for the San Antonio Spurs. You bring in an old veteran that can maybe teach the guys, kind of like how Chris Paul kind of taught the young Thunder guys, Shea and everyone like that, Lou Dort, right? So it's a really nice move, man. It's only a 1-year deal as well, kind of like a prove it deal. I feel like Chris Paul's doing this to show that, yeah, I can still play the game of basketball. Kind of like, as I said, kind of what he did in Oklahoma City, where instead of getting traded to a tanking team, right, getting traded to rebuild team, instead of just laying over and be like, oh, whatever, like. and whatever. He decides, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take these young bucks behind my back, and I'm gonna make something out of this year, so I can get a bigger contract. And I feel like that's exactly what's gonna be like this year. And then after this year, he's probably gonna join a contending team, like maybe the Lakers or something like that. That's kind of like my prediction to see what's up with Chris Paul there. But as I said, for the Spurs, I think this is a really, really, really great deal. Chris Paul could teach them a lot of great things, right? And Chris Paul was a nice part of Shea's development. So if he could develop some of those guards over there, that's gonna be freaking scary, man. I mean, that definitely sucks, But yeah, I really do like that Chris Paul move. I know Chris Paul, again, he's older and stuff like that. He wants to get a ring, but it's only a 1 year deal, right? 1 year deal, kind of proven stuff like that, and just go out there and play the game of basketball, man. So I love that deal for Chris Paul. I love that deal for the Spurs and for Wemby as well, man. Wemby's about to freaking have like 80 lobs a game. I'm not even joking. Do you guys know how really? Do you guys know how big Wemby is? I was watching some videos, right, of the France practice, and this dude Wemby literally like barely has to jump off the floor, and his hands are already over the rim. So it's literally about to be Lob City over there in freaking San Antonio. So it's gonna be really great, man, for the Spurs fans and everything like that, for the Spurs in general. Could they be a playoff team potentially? They could potentially be a playoff team, but I feel like they're probably gonna be like a play-in team. That's like my predictions, maybe like a 9 or a 10 play-in team, But we'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe they pull off a thunder stunt, where they get like 5th seed. That'd be insane, but. Yeah, man, the Spurs they're gonna be freaking nice. The next deal I want to talk about is James Harden re-signing 2 years towards the Los Angeles Clippers. I think that's a pretty good signing, like seeing James Harden coming back. It's good for Clippers fans now that basically it's going to be just those two, right? Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. It's crazy to think that Paul George really left the freaking Clippers. Man, that Clippers franchise just cursed. That duo, remember back in 2019 where they traded literally everything and everybody for Paul George. I mean, as a Thunder fan, I love it, right? Because we got Shea, we got all those picks, we got J-Dub with one of those picks, right? So I thought it was beautiful as a Thunder fan. But I expected more from this duo. I'm not going to lie with you. But I feel like the main reason why this duo of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard didn't work was mostly because of injuries and the Clippers curse. So I'll be real, Clippers are cursed. I mean, you can't do anything about it. Clippers are just a cursed franchise. And it just showed when they got Paul George. Now, specifically talking about James Harden, I think this is a good move, right? He finds somewhere he could stay. He kind of has the reins of the offense, right? Like, Paul George not going to be there no more. I think they signed Derrick Jones Jr. to a 3-year deal, so that's a pretty nice role player for them. You still have Kawhi Leonard. If Kawhi Leonard and James Harden can be healthy, they could make some type of noise, but I feel like their championship window is officially closed. Like, they're not going to be winning no type of championships, they'll probably win a playoff series or two, but they're not going to get past that hump to really win a championship. So I feel like the Clippers, man, they just should hit the rebuild button. I know they have like no picks because, again, they made that Paul George trade. So I feel like they should definitely just hit the rebuild button after those 2 years, right? Or after Harden's gone. Like, you need to hit the rebuild button. You need to do different things. And also Russell Westbrook as well is on the move, which, again, we're going to talk about next right now because Russell Westbrook is my favorite player. So obviously I'm going to be talking about Russell Westbrook. But still, this Clippers team it's not going to make a noise. I'm not hyped on this Clippers team. Maybe they could do something, right? Like, maybe they could cook up, right? But I just don't see that happening at all, man. I really don't see the Clippers doing anything this year, I'm going to be honest. All right, so last and final move I want to talk about before this video, man. Or actually 2 things, okay? 2 things I want to talk about in this video. 2 things I want to talk about before I close this video. Number 1, Russell Westbrook is on the move, and supposedly he wants to join, or the Nuggets are trying to recruit him, man. That'll be insane. Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, freaking Nikola Jokic, Westbrook and Jokic would just be an insane duo. And I'll probably say that's like the best situation for Russ to be in. Because if Russ could be that starting point guard for that team, have Russ the point guard, Jamal Murray's a shooting guard, right? And have Westbrook actually play making stuff like that, facilitate. Bro, this team's going to be good, man. Russell Westbrook still has it in him. You saw not even 2 years ago what he did in the playoffs against the Phoenix Suns. I mean, he went absolutely insane when he actually has the ball and he actually has to be the one to put the team on his back. Russell Westbrook's a guy that gives everything on the court, so I feel like the Nuggets fans would really love him. But I feel like it just wasn't going to work with the Clippers, man. Like, it really wasn't. He was coming off the bench, right? Like, he wasn't getting the ball as much. Obviously, guys like Harden and stuff like that were getting the ball a lot more. I just feel like Westbrook just needs the reins of an offense, kind of like a James Harden, right? He kind of needs like the reins of the offense a little bit. I'm not saying that he should be the only one that's winning the ball all the time when he brings it down the court, no. But what I'm saying is that he needs to be the one that does the playmaking. He needs to be the one that facilitates. I'm telling you, Russell Westbrook could still be a good basketball player, even though he's up there in age, right? He's getting older. he's still gonna be good, man. Like I'm telling you, Russell Westbrook on the Nuggets would be insane. If Russell Westbrook goes to the Nuggets, and then if the Thunder lose, like somehow in the playoffs, I'm going for the Nuggets all the way, man. If I just need Russell Westbrook in the ring, I don't care what team it's on, I don't care where it's at. It could be literally on like my most hated teams. I don't care. Russell Westbrook, I need him to get a ring. I need him to get a ring. So if he could get a ring, that'd be beautiful. All right, last and final thing I want to talk about is just the Klay Thompson departure, man. It's really crazy to see that Klay Thompson is really just gone. I mean, he's not going to be on that freaking team anymore. That's crazy, man. Like Klay Thompson, like, come on, man. Like that's just gonna be weird seeing him in another uniform. It kind of reminds you of like a Hakeem Olajuwon, like a Tony Parker when he's on the Hornets, right? That's kind of how this move feels. The two teams that Klay Thompson is supposedly deciding is like the Mavericks, the Clippers, and I think also the Lakers as well. So like those three teams, like the big three teams that he's going to be signing to most likely. Not really the Magic. Magic was the name up there, but I didn't. Well, obviously they can't do it anymore because they signed KCP. But still, man, Klay Thompson, I feel like he's a still pretty good basketball player. I know he shot 0 for 10 in an elimination game. That's absolutely garbage. But I feel like he could still produce on the court, and he could be a nice sharpshooter for any team. He has that championship DNA as well. So the best teams for him to go is like championship contending teams. And I'm telling you, the Lakers and the Mavericks are probably the best two championship contending teams. Bro, if he were to go to the Mavericks, that'd be insane. Klay Thompson, Kyrie, and Luka. And also the Lakers, man. LeBron, AD, and Klay Thompson. Bro, that would be insane, right? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what the Lakers are going to do. Supposedly, LeBron's going to take a pay cut, and DeMar DeRozan's another name that's on the watch for the Lakers. So, we'll see what the contracts are. We'll see what happens the next coming days, man. And I will probably keep updated on Twitter if you guys want to talk about free agency, stuff like that, talk about sports, whatever. But yeah, with that being said, man, that's all I really want to talk about today's video. Just talk about free agency and stuff like that, how crazy it's been so far, and the big moves that really caught my eye, especially the Oklahoma City Thunder, man, getting finally a legitimate big man is something that you just love to see, man. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Finally. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, man, drop a like, subscribe for a brand new follow on my socials. Thank you guys so much for all the support and everything, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.